Nation, good morning. Your boy Mike Tag here. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Make sure if you're new to the channel, get this out of the way. Hit that subscribe. If you're checking out the video, just hit that like, hit the alert button. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. We got Tony Thrill coming in Thursday. And then next week, we got two-time Super Bowl champion James Washington. And then we also got Sherman Williams coming up in the next few weeks, another Super Bowl champion. So we're getting all the champions in this room because, like I said, we're gonna feed it in so much. The Cowboys are gonna just be soaked in with champions all off season that they got no choice but to become a champion themselves. So make sure you guys check that out. We'll be doing a lot of that during the off season. So if you want to get, learn a little history, go down memory lane, listen to some old Cowboys and NFL players. This is definitely the place to be. So make sure you hit that subscribe, like, and share. So just thinking about it, seeing a lot of stuff on social media, seeing a lot of stuff, with the content creators, a lot of good stuff out there. But the hot topic, obviously, is all the drama in Dallas. You had Micah Parsons' brother tweeting out stuff, CeeDee Lamb, his mom tweeting out stuff. Yeah, Dak Prescott's brother defending his brother for all the hate that he's been getting. I saw Wanye Thomas mixing it up with some fans and some fans going after him. It just blows my mind, but it's a social media era and it's the way it is. Everyone is a keyboard warrior, tough guy, whatever you want to call it. Me, it's never been my style. I'm not going to go after players or families and stuff like that. But, it's unfortunate because I think, they're family. So they're always going to defend their family. So I don't really hold a lot to it. I know a lot of people are making a really, really big deal with CD's mom coming out and saying some stuff, and Dak or CD hasn't responded yet. Or I don't know if he needs to. I don't really need him to. It's like I said, it has nothing to do with CeeDee Lamb. It's the same thing with Parsons, brother. Micah Parsons came out and said, "Hey, that's my brother. His words are his own. His opinions are his own. They're not mine. I love Dallas. I want to stay here. Da da da. I want to bring a championship. All the right things." So each person's going to handle everything their own way. So again, I'm not going to get in the middle of it, but what it just it becomes evident in the culture in Dallas, and it's just the way it is. I mean, everything's going to be headlines. Everything is going to be the big topic. You look at a Wanye Thomas who's been a solid player, young player, getting opportunity to play, doing the right things. He did a giveaway of a football and some stuff with the Star We Are. He's doing fundraisers and trying to get blankets and things for the community during the cold times. So he's doing everything right. Um, and then he still gets attacked. So it's just the way it is, and you wonder why these players, they've been more players today are a lot more engaging than eras in the past, and social media obviously plays a big part of it because they got a way to connect with their fans, and it's just that small portion. That's what I try and tell these guys, man. Don't hold me accountable to the idiots that are out there. Don't hold good Cowboy fans or good football fans in general accountable for some of the idiots that are on social media. I get it. Everyone gets it. It was funny. Mark Holmes, one of the legends and Cowboys content creator, he stopped into the cave and was in the chat, and he heard my little rant, and he said, "Hey man, if you're not pissing him off, if you're pissing him off, you're doing a good job." So you look at it that way. So as long as the players don't take it too hard, but I don't either. I don't get involved in what family members of players say. It is what it is. But we got to focus more on the task at hand. And the task at hand is, how do we get this team better? How can this team get over the hump? And you look at the playoffs, you look at the teams in there. This was a weird playoff season. The Packers easily could have beat San Francisco. Easily could have beat them. They had them. They were controlling the game, most of the time. The Lions and Buccaneers, okay, that was kind of close, and the Lions pulled away. So you get Lions and San Francisco in a championship game. Probably, with Dallas out, that's probably what I would have expected. And then you've got Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does, and that's beating the Bills and Josh Allen. And you got them and the Ravens. You got Lamar Jackson looking to see if he can get over that hump. So it's going to be a good NFC and AFC championship game. But what that does for me as a Cowboys fan, and I know there's a lot of panic, and as time goes on, wearing my Cowboy stuff today, so getting a little better. Lick my wounds and try and move forward. It shows this team isn't. It's not that far off. I mean, they're right there, and it really comes down to one, how you're performing in the playoffs, which is an area where they've got to get some improvement. But they're a player or two away. Now, teams change. There's going to be a turnover. There always is. There's the rosters. You're going to see some guys go, and you're going to see some guys come. But if the Dallas Cowboys, if Jerry Jones, if he's serious about it being all in, address the areas of weakness. You see what I got behind me. You're talking about the GOAT 22, Emmitt Smith. Man, we're not going to find Emmitt Smith, but we need to find a running back that can be that workhorse, be that bell cow. You saw what that did for Kansas City. Pacheco's getting going. You see what it's done for the Lions with their running game situation, two-headed monster that they have, but just a commitment to run, but the ability to run effective. And that's unfortunately this past season, it's what I talked about, what a lot of us, express some concerns is can Pollard be the workhorse? And I didn't think he could. And it's nothing against him. I just think you're taking him away from what made him really special, and that being that change of pace, number two back, explosive plays. So they've got to find that. There's been talk with Saquon Barkley. Do you get Henry? If I had a choice between the two, I'd probably go Barkley. But the draft is full. I mean, you see it all the time. The draft is full of running backs. Commit to getting a good running back early. I'd say in the first, 3 rounds, and you're going to get a guy with some potential. So you want the potential, or you want the sure thing? That's where the Cowboys got to make a decision. But you saw with the offensive line, with some of the injuries that they had, we've got some depth at the offensive line, and there's some guys that can step in and probably be the starter and won't miss a beat. And maybe sometimes some fresh faces aren't the worst thing. So I think you're going to hopefully see competition. That's what I preach so much, is give me competition at every position. That's what Jimmy Johnson did here with the Cowboys. That's what a lot of great coaches do. There is nobody safe. There is nobody comfortable, especially after disappointment. You saw with Jimmy Johnson. I've said it a million times. In his first year, I mean, they drafted Troy Aikman. He spent a first round supplemental pick for next year's first round pick to bring in Steve Walsh. I mean, why would he do that? One, I think he was, obviously using it to probably gather more picks down the road, but it was an open competition. It was an open competition between those two. Troy Aikman didn't like it. But I think it made him better. I think it makes you better. It's like Michael Irvin always, Michael Irvin competed every day, like someone was trying to take his job. And that's the mentality that I think we've got to get some dogs. We've got enough, like Eugene Lockhart, said he needs some people who are hungry. He needs, people ain't worried about the glam and all this other stuff that we need some players like that. I look at the linebackers, on San Francisco. I look at some of the linebackers with Detroit. You look at the linebackers with Kansas City. I mean, a lot of they're just, blue collar dogs, man. They're not in the limelight. They're not, doing all this stuff. And that's what I think the Cowboys need some more of. They need to either get that via free agency, or they need to get in a draft. Me personally, the draft is nice, and the Cowboys put a lot of pressure on their draft picks to perform immediately because they're not active in free agency. They're very selective, bargain basement shopping, you could say. I think the Cowboys need to be active in free agency and get some veterans, the right veterans. Doesn't need to be, the big dogs, but it needs to be guys who are blue collar, who can fit into this scheme and fit into this team, but bring leadership, championship mentality. If you've got some guys there, bring people in that are they're not worried about the star in their helmet so much, bringing them money. They just want to play football, and they want to win championships, and they want to dominate. That's the hard thing being a cow. That's the hard thing when you go to Cowboys, because it's all in front of you, all that glam, all the things. And that's the culture. And that's what we talk about with the culture with Jerry. Is a great owner. But he does, some of the things he does are to the detriment, to me, of the culture of the team. And that's just my opinion. The media has a lot to do with it too. Cowboys are still headlines on every news station, every sports show, and hadn't been in the playoffs. It's been 2 weeks, it's going on our second week, and they're still talking about the Cowboys. So that comes with it, and that's where the mental toughness of the players have to come in to kind of don't accept that. Don't feed into it. Focus at the task at hand because this team is talented. I don't care what anyone says. This team's talented enough to go to the Super Bowl and, of course, win the Super Bowl because that's the most important thing. So we've got some good shows this week. Like I said, Thursday live, Tony Thrill Hill. We're going to bring in some Super Bowl champions. So he's going to come in and share some stories. Probably going to talk a little bit about his thoughts on the way this team ended and what do they need to do to get over the hump. Does he agree that it's a little too much glam in here and we got to change the culture a little bit? So definitely check us out. We'll be dropping videos, like this in the morning sometimes when I'm feeling up to it. I have to get up early enough before work starts. So definitely check it out. Hit that like, subscribe, share. Appreciate all the support. I know it's still, it stings a little bit, but we're going to get through it. And like I said, let's see what the Cowboys do. Is this a wake up call to Jerry to do something? Or are they just going to go to continue the path? Because the path that they're doing isn't working. They're going to have to change some stuff up. Some of their philosophy is going to have to change in the way they attack free agency, maybe some of the draft, and of course the culture. And that's the biggest thing. So I appreciate it. We're still working on our intros and outros and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate all the support. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Say